Our TSN HOKEY employees Chris Johnston, Darren Dreger and Pierre Lebrun learn how NHL handles the helmet protocol in pre-game warming, how the Jets cope with the injury of Nikolaj Ehlers and more. Glenn Schuler. The only chance for fans to see the stars without helmets on ice is the warming moments. But Chris, hair skating, days numbered? Chris Johnston. Yes. Now take a photo because NHL will not take long as it requires all future players to wear helmets during heating. This will be a kind of grandfather at the beginning. Any player entering the league in the 2019-20 season or after the league must immediately follow the rule. But any player who started before has the option to choose what he wants to do with helmets. This is due to the recommendation of the NHL and the NHL Players Association's Sterem Committee, as well as the Health and Safety Committee. So this was the way to the future and is currently in force. Schiiler. Winnipeg Jets made a great start this season, but Darren is currently facing some troubles, dealing with some injuries. What are the latest developments about Nick Ehlers and other strikers who are currently wearing Jets jersey? Darren Dreger. Nikolaj Ehlers made various consultations with several different doctors, and the truth is that they don't know yet. Yes, the surgery may be an option to reunite Ehlers, but this was a slow healing process for them. But the surgery has not yet been decided. Winnipeg has no 3 of the top 9 strikers. Ehlers, Mason, Appleton and Morgan Barron are looking at Barron. So they hope that someone will take steps to fill the gap in the short term. But they are obviously thinking of some swap options. Schuler. Jakob Chychrun, the most talked about defender in the trade market last year, was. Can we expect rumors to increase once again in Chris Chychrun to make the season exit? Johnston. This has been a year since I talked about it, but it has been 7 odd months since I hadn't played a game. This is about to change when Arizona plays there in Nashville on Monday night. It will be one of the situations where we will start watching the scout list wherever Coyote plays. Because Chychrun says that many teams who meet with Arizona want to see the game. He underwent ankle and wrist injuries, had surgeries, had some pauses to move forward. But there is a hope that he will eventually start playing and eventually break the ice and cause a swap. Pierre Lebrun. Another team looking at the clubs with injuries in the blue line. Of course, started the season, and the Los Angeles Kings, which are very loaded on the right wing, are at the top of the 6 teams. 6 of them are using their right hand. But Sean Durzi can play on both sides, and that's what he does. The 19-year-old Brian Clark, who is right, is currently doing a condition in AHL, and there are some speeches inside. Is it logical for him to play for the Canadian team in World Juniors? Of course. Jordan Spence, who played 24 matches with Kings last year, played well and stuck in AHL. So the teams sit there and, LA. When will they open for work with Ds? Currently, the general manager Rob Blake wants to maintain the depth as long as possible and are not yet ready to play with the right-handed defensive players. Schuler. Meanwhile, there are many head coaches with NHL success that does not have a job and waiting for an opportunity on the edge. Is Dregs ready for Joel Quenville, and can he go back to the game? Dreger. He's ready, but he can't go back to the game. Sooner or later he wants to return to an NHL bench. Now, any team that is interested or proposing a job will have to pass through Florida Panthers first for permission, which seems to be a formality. But the biggest obstacle is of course the commission member Gary Bettman. The commissioner's office needs to be approved by Quenneville to return to NHL. This has not yet happened, and there are those who think it will not be until the next season. Schiiler. Finally, Pierre. NHL hockey in the south of the United States. We know that you have received its share of landing and extensions. But the outdoor game in Carolina seems to be a great success. Right? Lebrun. Yes. That's interesting. Carolina Hurricanes had to really convince NHL to give them an open-air game. Initially, it had to be played in February 2021. But it was cancelled due to its pandem. Now it comes. 2023. In February, they sold more than 30,000 tickets to their share in 6 to 7 days. Washington Capitals have tickets to sell. NHL has tickets to sell. But Carolina has sold more than 30,000 in 7 days. Which shows you where the market is now.